Thank you. Thank you for joining us today with Mary Kay Fenlon. Really appreciate it for you coming our broadcast tonight. Welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here.
I just want to go ahead, and introduce Mary. Who is Mary? Who she is? Mary Kay Fenlon. Those who don't know you, who it is.
Well, gosh, I don't know where to start here. I born and raised in Columbus. I came from a family that also grew up here in Columbus, and 4 brothers, and went to DeSales High School and High State University criminology degree and Capital Law School. And I was the student president at Capital Law School, and I did some internships with the prosecutor's office while I was in law school, and certainly had an interest in criminology. And I spent my second and third year doing internships there, and then went to the Attorney General's office after law school. And I then was able to get a position as a hearing officer with the state of Ohio. And there I sat, like a judge, not an elected judge, but a judge over proceedings, regulatory proceedings between public utilities and consumers and other businesses. And I did that for quite a few years, 9 years. And then I went on to one of the biggest law firms in Columbus, Ohio, Porter, Wright, Morrison, Arthur, and became a partner there. And then from there, I went in-house counsel and AT&T Communications, Inc., and was there for 18 years and retired 2 years ago as Assistant Vice President at AT&T attorney. And after I retired 2 years ago, I started a mediation company because I really liked the ability to, I was taught how to mediate, both when I worked for the government and also working for private practice. Emphasis on mediating and trying to resolve disputes was very important. And I really enjoyed doing that, either being a party to mediation or being the mediator himself. So I began to do that, but I also saw the opportunity to really be able to spend a lot of time volunteering again, which is very hard when you've got 2 kids and family and working full-time plus hours. And so I love the Columbus Legal Aid Society, and I had done a lot of projects with them over the years. So I began really right before COVID, working with their eviction proceedings and representing the tenants in those cases. And of course, tenants who were able to apply and get accepted into the Legal Aid Society's programs. It was very interesting. And when I really started doing that, a significant number of cases, I soon realized that, I think I would really enjoy working in the municipal court, in particular, running this year. And I have continued to work with Columbus Legal Aid, and I also volunteer with Clintonville Resource Center, Food Pantry, and I also sit on the Juvenile Justice Community Roundtable. And I have a nonprofit that I started 10 years ago, where I raise money for brain cancer research at the James Cancer Hospital. I am a brain cancer survivor, and I started that program 10 years ago just to celebrate my continued surviving that disease and want to help others. So I stay very busy.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited about running for judge.
Really it speaks itself. You have public service your DNA. That shows really
Yes.
that you really care about, the most vulnerable communities in Central Ohio, and especially Franklin County. Those of you don't know, Mary Kay has, attorney over 80 years, experience resolving disputes between consumers and business, and then mainly mediation, which is really important, because of that show is somebody who really do a good job on serving the public services. That's shows that you care about the community, you stay with it, you come back, you're always helping. That's what we wanted. We wanted somebody who really understands court issues that every Franklin County resident feels today, which is really, we appreciated you for your dedication service and continue running for the judge. We need people like you, definitely. Another question is, I want to clear, mediation. You sound like mediation person that really trying to bring people together and make sure reduce the cost everybody running to. So those
Yes.
who pretty much don't know anything about legal mediation, especially immigrants communities, what is it in the court mediation in terms of like?
Okay. Well, there's mediation is when parties come together with the intent to try to resolve issues. They know that they're not going to get everything that they want, but they know that they are going to be able to speak about their issues and share their concerns about their issues with a mediator and hope to get the issue resolved so that they don't have to litigate it in court. Litigation is very expensive and very time consuming. So the mediator is selected either by the court, if you are going through mediation at the court, or the two parties can select a mediator. And that mediator brings the two parties together. The mediator is not making any decisions. The mediator is just bringing the parties in a very logical way, and they share their concerns. They sometimes share with each other, or they just share with the mediator, and then the mediator talks with them. Have you thought about this? I mean, what about this? Do you have witnesses? And what would your witnesses say? And it really tries to bring the parties to think about how they could win their case. Now, the mediator makes it very clear to the parties that anything that is shared between them during that mediation is confidential. And so when they walk out that door, if they have not come to an agreement amongst themselves, they walk out that door and everything is confidential. And that is really one of the major benefits of mediation.
Wow, that is really saving a lot of money, especially folks that really, it's not what you wanted, but at least you can make it a compromise in each other,
Correct.
which is really great.
Right.
Right. It's somebody has a good heart, listen both sides and said, hey, we could bring everybody together, and you lose this one, we come in the middle, which is really nice. I like that because this is a cost-effective effort,
Right. And you may not resolve all of your issues. Perhaps you're going into a hearing and you have 50 unresolved issues or disputes between yourselves in a contract. You might come out with, let's say half of them resolved. And so when you do go to court, you're only going to litigate the other half. And that again saves time and resources.
We really appreciate it because this is something that shows you care people, and then also Columbus Legal Aid is a backbone for a lot of folks that don't afford, real attorney to hire, which is really great that you mentioned that you worked, really shows that the service, public service that you care about, it's really serious about this business.
Yes. legal aid takes on matters not just landlord tenant disputes, but also foreclosure disputes and bankruptcy disputes and a number of other types of matters. They certainly are worth considering and finding out if you are eligible to receive their services.
Yeah, and COVID impacted, every human nature in this earth today, because of the very serious disease. And we know that people affected, people lost jobs, people are still worried every day, what's going to be happen to me. For years, wonder this money that rent assistance went out, what's going to happen. There's a lot of anxiety and depression and mental illnesses happening, across the board, in your opinion, what leverage you're going to bring it in the court, especially municipal court judge, being elected? If you're elected, what message you're going to keep it to continue to do what you were doing?
Well, I certainly want to bring my experience, not only of being able to mediate disputes or request that parties try to mediate their issues before they would bring them to me. But I also have experience in criminal matters, having worked with the prosecutor's office and civil matters. And so I certainly bring those skills to the bench. But one of the things that I want to bring is my concern and interest in housing. After working with legal aid on these landlord-tenant disputes over the last year and a half, I see the real need for housing and how the lack of housing can, bring people to a level, not only mental frustrations, mental health issues, but it may cause them to have to, break in and find a warm place for their family to sleep, or, steal food, or, make choices that aren't legal. And so I really think that we as a community as a whole need to all really put our hearts and soul into trying to resolve the housing issue here in our community. And I think that will help tremendously. My whole entire goal is, never to see people again. The juveniles that I have worked with, the whole goal is to help them understand the system. And I think for the Somali community in particular, all of our immigrants, really need to understand what the laws are. How can they find them? How are they defined? And if they do get into some trouble, who do they call? And and how to resolve them. And I really want to make sure that all of our immigrant communities understand that. And I think in order to do that, we need to take the courthouse out to the community. And I, in particular, am looking forward to talking to not really young children, but middle schoolers, kids who are thinking about making decisions that might not be the right decision, and then also young adults who are just graduating from college or leaving home. Oftentimes, there are some decisions that they often make that aren't in the best interest and aren't legal, and then bring them to they end up in court. So I think the more we educate and communicate, the values and how our justice system works here locally, I think that'll be very helpful. And I look forward to participating in that.
I appreciate it because the judges matters and judges works for the people, and really
That's right.
I appreciate that you're bringing the whole system within the community that really needs to know more about. But another
Right.
thing I want to go back question is municipal court. Those later watching the episode, who don't know municipal court judge, what did they see, who they see, and who they interact everyday life.
Okay. Traffic offenses, in particular, OMVs, operating vehicles while intoxicated, and it could be something, the traffic offenses could be something like the seatbelt issue or speeding or not having a license. All of those issues come before the municipal court judge. And then, as we were talking about before, the landlord-tenant disputes, the debit creditor issues, civil matters that have a monetary value of up to $15,000. And also, misdemeanors, criminal misdemeanors, domestic violence, physical assaults. So a number of different misdemeanor criminal offenses as well. So there's criminal and misdemeanor offenses.
Wow. So it's everyday human life impacted that court.
That's right. And you see everyone and anyone, most people do experience, at a minimum traffic violations, throughout their, teenage years into their adulthood. And it really sometimes just takes one violation to learn the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're right.
Our goal is to find out on a more serious end, what is bringing you here, what might be causing the OMVs or the assaults or the domestic violence. And there are services that the court makes available: mental health services, addiction services, and other counseling services, domestic violence for LGBTQ community. All of those services are available at the court, and we want to share those because, again, we don't want to see people back in the court. We want them to become successful and happy and healthy, and so that they don't get involved in any other unlawful offenses.
Mary, you really have, your hands are really tight, always helping people, always care about people, giving information. The past few years, we see a lot of elected judges that sit as bench, never came to the community, never reach out, any type of service what they have, and for you, it's somebody has a public servant DNA. It shows, we know many people settled refugees. I remember, Rain mom was one of the backbone of the community immigrants refugee setup. I remember she advocated many issues. It's not somebody is new because that show is, your has DNA public servant. That's what I'm saying. Because of it's not somebody just coming in court say, hey, I'm running judge. That right. Shows us, the care that you care about the community. And I see mom still impacted seniors, the community every day, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
We appreciate it, for the kindness and dedication and giving to the lot of immigrants, refugees, and immigrants in Franklin County and every resident. The dedication that you doing every day. My question to you is, there is a crisis happening in every household in the county, which is opiate, and especially young generation, old, young, still dealing with the opiate, and every corner of the house is fire, and what's your message of the court, how you're bringing services when people committed some type of opiate and things like that, drugs, but still they need those mental health, or rehabilitation or some type of, they need to be helped.
Right. I mean, our goal is to, again, make people happy and healthy and successful. And when there are crimes involved with opiates or opiate addiction or overdoses, that is when we can bring in our mental health experts, and the resolve should not be, oh, let's just lock them up and keep them away from the opiates. There are ways to deal with those addictions. I'm certainly not an expert, but I know that there are ways to intercede and to, protect those people who have those addictions, not to throw them into jail, not to throw them in, the institutions. There may be cases where, probation may be set so that, you need to seek treatment, but oftentimes treatment isn't going to be successful until, you can accept the addiction and understand the addiction and are willing to move forward. So there's a couple things that have to move in the right direction. But also, not sure if you're familiar with this, but over the last few months, the court has also created a self-help center that it's had a self-help center for a number of years, but in particular, the self-help center now will allow even non-judicial participants to come in off the street and say, I need help. And they can receive the assistance from the court. And that is fabulous. That makes Franklin County just really stand out above all other counties in the state and across the country. The fact that we see you as somebody who's coming to us before you would happen to, be arrested or get into any other type of situation where you would come before the court. So that is really, really outstanding that the court has the means and the experts who can deal with those problems. And that's not just addiction, that's just not opiate, but that's a number of issues. If you need help with housing or education, addiction, alcoholism, even as simple as needing help getting your passport or your driver's license, there are people there who are able to help you. You just need to come to the courthouse and ask. Hopefully we will be able to bring self-help out to the community once we get more established, but it's certainly the doors are open.
Thank you, because information is really crucial. A lot of times, people, I believe it, you have to bring service where the people are, because a lot of time people have transportation issues, some type of problem they're dealing with, when you're, if you're elected, become a judge, I know you're going to come back to the community, and we're trying to do what we call is to listen to the community's concerns, or some of them who have criminal issues will be helpful. I know the judge have a service to the public communities, right?
That's right. There's a number of opportunities that we can bring to the community. Again, we are public servants. We work for I'm not a seated judge yet, but if I am elected, I will be working for the people, and part of that time will be behind the bench hearing matters, and other times it will be going out to the communities and learning about issues, or having people come to me. My door will always be open. And I look forward to people to talk with me, and we can better understand what's going on with our communities if we talk to each other and listen to each other.
Thank you. It's really important to see today listening Mary Kay Fenlon, really running Municipal Court Judge, especially Somali community loves you. We want you to be there. People are really happy with you. You become a judge, and the whole entire community endorses you, love you, care about you, because somebody has DNA public service. That's what we wanted. We want to see somebody who is a public servant who cares about everybody, regardless of their status, legal status, regardless of their background or who they are or what they are. Really appreciate it. What's your message tonight to the communities? And if we put in the community this message,
Well, I want everyone to remember to vote if you haven't already. And early voting starts or has started and will continue again tomorrow, this whole week, Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock to 7 o'clock. And then Saturday, Sunday, the hours are, I believe, 8 to 4. And then the Monday, the day before election, even, I think it will close up about 2 o'clock to give the workers some time to get situated for Tuesday. And of course, the polls open on Tuesday all day. And I would appreciate your vote. I would be certainly, would be honored to have your vote and to serve you as one of your municipal court judges. Thank you so much.
I really, I want to say thank you, Mary, for your dedication for the service, for the community you're serving, Franklin County. In general, we appreciate it that you're always advocating for everybody across the board. And thank you. We really appreciate it for your service and continue. We'll support you. And we have a few volunteers will volunteer next few days helping campaign for you. So we'll be delighted to see somebody who is a public servant to the people. So
Right.
Thank you for your leadership, and God bless you, and we appreciate you. Okay.
Thank you for having me, Vera. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Today is ending our broadcast. We're ending, and then I'm reminding again everybody who's watching, please, early lecture start Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 p.m. 25th. October 30th is going to be 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. October 31st, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. November 1st is going to be 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then November 2nd, general election open balls at 6:30 to 7:30. Please make sure to remember Mary Kay. Please touch that, and we love her and keep continuing to see it. Thank you so much for coming. Our broadcast committee engagement, Burhan. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Bye-bye.